Hey guys, Victoria here, and welcome to the Geeky Sandbox. You know what time it is, guys? It's time to get into our recap of Pretty Little Liars to Perfectionists, and we did miss last week, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what went on in episode 8. Just to put it short, quite a few things happened in regard to romance. Ava is starting to fall for I can't think of his name, but the guy that her father embezzled money from his family. She's starting to fall for him, and she kind of started feeling bad simply because she hadn't laughed that hard since she had been with Nolan. We also found out in romance, Mona and, I was going to say his real name is Noah, but Mona and Mason hook up, and that's been building for quite a while, and I wonder if there's going to be any kind of repercussions for that. He told her that he couldn't stop thinking about her, so they're kind of cute, so I'm interested to see what happens with that. Even Allison got in on some romance. She met a teacher named Gabriel, and he was teaching her how to dance and was teaching her some Spanish, and it was interesting because then she found out that he was married, and she was like, okay, I'm not into that, but you know what, we can be friends.
I'd really love to know what your friend does at Hotchkiss. Yeah, me too.
And then in regard to romance with Caitlin, she's very suspicious because there's something going on with Jeremy. And we don't know what it is. She follows him out. He's hiding evidence, dumping something into the water. And of course he finds her there, and he figures out that she's spying on him because he gets very cold, and he tries to like cover it with his warm personality and smiles. And he even goes as far as to destroy his laptop. So something odd is going on there, and I wasn't expecting that. Dylan is trying to prepare for the inevitable reveal that he cheated on his exam. And then the last thing you guys should know about in regard to last week's episode is that Dylan is really trying to pull one over on Dana. She comes to him with the deal, trying to get him to turn on his friends, and they go through this whole thing where they set up a way to know if Dana is lying and whatnot about the things she says. So they use kind of like a voice kind of analyzer just to see when her voice peaks and whatnot in regard to lying. And they can thank Taylor for this help, which Mona was very reluctant to do that. And they are in the process of finding out if Dana was truly lying or if she was really planning to frame the other people on the campus, or excuse me, Dylan's friends, in order to get some kind of evidence to put somebody away. So of course some of those things come back within this episode, episode 9, and we're just going to go ahead and talk about that today, guys, with my top 5 moments, of course. If you don't want to know anything about this episode, episode 9 of Pretty Little Liars to Perfectionists, go ahead and skip this video. And if you're okay with spoilers because you sat through episode 8 mini recap, then go ahead and continue watching. Number 5, Jeremy reveals that he played a part in Nolan's death to protect Caitlin. He doesn't mention what he did nor gives details, so of course this is why everyone jumps on board to try to list him as a suspect. I'm disappointed in how quick Mona and Allison were willing to agree with this, seeing as they have years and years of experience dealing with this type of tomfoolery. Number 4, it's finally revealed to everyone that Claire Hotchkiss knows about Dana and her methods. I'm honestly happy this is out in the open because they were really giving Claire more credit than what was due. So they bring her this recording from last week of Dana where she's kind of talking about what she's willing to do in order to take people down, and it backfires on them because Claire says, you know, hey, I gave her permission to do everything she's doing. And Claire is cold to Dylan throughout the episode, who is in the process of being kicked out of BHU because, as you know, guys, he did cheat, and that did come to the light. She scolds Allison, and she's trying to put Taylor in a retreat because she feels like she's air quote ill, aka she wants to keep her out of Dana's way. And just a sidebar, not too sure what's going to happen with this, but Mason is now being watched via beacon guard, and this was ordered by Claire, which, by the way, I find it hilarious that every time someone leaves her office or her vicinity, she gets on that phone and she calls somebody, and I want to know who's on the other end of that line. But anyways, I'm worried about Mona and their relationship. Hopefully she doesn't pull Nolan into whatever's going on because everything will be exposed and he would have no idea. Number 3, Ava's money is taken. Dana mentions how she wants to find Ava's money, and of course she does. Caitlin tries to hide it at her place, but Caitlin's mom, Senator Park Lewis, and Dana find it together. And of course, Caitlin's staying tight-lipped, and this does make her relationship with her mom even more rocky. But, you know, they should know by now that Dana literally follows them and has their location at all times. And they put that money in the easiest, like, that was easily accessible. So I'm not quite sure why they put it there. I get that this is their first rodeo, so maybe throughout the season they'll get a little bit more wise, or they'll wise up about where they put things and hide things and who they talk to and where they talk to people. Number 2, the group formulates a plan to get Jeremy to confess, and I'm so done at this point. Like, Taylor steals the car from the people who were driving her to the air quote retreat, and she tries to rush in and help. And by help, I mean she wants to try to just drag a confession out of Jeremy. And of course, this leads to our number 1 moment. Number 1, Taylor shoots Jeremy, and that's not it. He's alive. He survived. So yes, this is all going to be awkward. Taylor, who is shaking and unstable at this point. By the way, the actress that plays Taylor did a great job throughout this episode. Her emotional scenes were on point. Taylor pulled a gun on Jeremy, who is attempting to leave, because at this point he feels betrayed. He realizes that Caitlin isn't alone, that he's not going to be able to take her to London. And call me crazy, I actually felt bad for him, because maybe it's just that huge part of me that knows that he didn't kill Nolan. Like, I just feel it in my soul that he didn't do it. And so he just keeps telling her, like, I did it for you, like, I trusted you. And Caitlin is just pleading with him, like, just please tell us the truth about what happened. And, you know, of course, that's when Taylor ends up shooting him. And she's like, he's trying to get away. He was leaving. You saw him. And it's crazy because everyone agrees that Jeremy was trying to attack Taylor and he had something in his hand. It was so weird hearing that fly out of Allison's mouth, but she's so protective of Taylor. I'm almost not surprised she did it, but I'm surprised Mona went with it, because Mona immediately was like, what's wrong with you? What did you do? Which is the type of reaction I had. We'll see how Caitlin feels about that story they fabricated and how well it'll hold up when the police arrives and when he awakes at the hospital, because y'all know it's going to be a hot mess. In theory time, I've been thinking about this lately. Maybe Taylor did play some kind of part in Nolan's death, whether it was directly or indirectly. I don't know, especially after seeing this episode, it makes me wonder. And, you know, it is a stretch and it's honestly a wild card, but it's something I've been considering lately, because I can't see anyone within the group, you know, out of Dylan, Allison, Caitlin, Ava. I can't see any of those guys doing something to Nolan. We already visited the idea of Mason. We really haven't visited the idea of Mona. But I don't know. It's something with I feel like this is all a family matter. So I don't know how she's connected, but she's connected in some way, because I just don't think Jeremy killed Nolan at all. Like, he may have helped him get there, but I just don't think he did it. And, you know, while we're talking about Jeremy, I personally don't feel they really allowed enough time for him to become this maniacal, like, secretive guy that Caitlin just didn't recognize. It was like 2 episodes ago, he was just himself. And then right after that, he was just kind of like evasive and secretive and drilling holes into his laptop and throwing it into a lake. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like very random, almost like a jump. Because like I said, just randomly started in the previous episode. But I don't know. That's just me. So what are you guys' thoughts on this week's episode, or your theories? Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a like rating down below and leave me a comment. Are you suspicious of Jeremy? Do you believe Jeremy's story? If you're new to my channel, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get more videos like this. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!